I'm in pretty shallow water. I've just hooked onto something. I'm in between the two creeks out in the bay. It's a bit windy out here. Here he comes. Trevally. We caught a lot bigger one of them yesterday. I'm going to let you go. This tiny little side creek looks like a good spot to put a crab pot in. Crabs will often move up these little creeks in between the tides, so we'll give him a go. If you can manage to get these two entrances, this side and this side, in these little creeks, running with the gutter, then you've got a better chance of catching crabs. Because crabs actually walk along those gutters. Right at the base of the gutter there's a bit of a channel, and I'll show you when we I'm going to back up now to put it in the right spot. But I'll show you when the tide's gone out, either today or another day, what I exactly mean. Crabs actually walk along those gutters like a track. It's just like a road for them. And if you're up on the side of the bank, well, you're off the road, and the crabs may walk past it. But if it's in the V, right in the bottom where the track is, you got your best chance of catching the crabs. They'll just walk straight in here. So if I get these right in line with the tracks on the bottom in this gutter, which I'm really hoping that's right. The best time to put a crab pot in is low tide, because you can actually see roughly where the track is, and as the tide comes up you know you've got it in the right spot. High tide, like I've just put it in there, not exactly sure, not 100%. There could be a mangrove root or a log or something and kicking it off the bottom, so it doesn't make it easy for the crabs to get in the net. But anyway, we'll come back later and check it and see how it goes. I've put one in the main part of the creek as well, and see if it does better or not. Anyway, I might go back to that snag and see if I can catch a couple more mangrove jacks. Whoa. I've got something on here, not sure what it is. It just went under the boat as I turned the camera on. Oh, it's a cod. Oh, there we go. Look at that. But, I might let him go. Thanks for visiting me, mate. Small fish. Small trevally. Oh, stop that. Let you go, mate. Okay, here's the crab pot in the middle of the creek. That's the pot in the middle of the creek, or out in the main creek. As you can see, there's nothing there. I'll try those drains now, like I was saying before, and I reckon we might have a bit more luck. Okay, as this creek's starting to empty now, you can see that my crab pot is on its side a little bit, and the main channel looks to be on the left-hand side of this small offset creek. So I've probably missed the main walkway where the crabs go. So I've only got half a chance of catching a crab. We'll check him out anyway. Here's a prime example of missing the crab highway with a crab pot. You can see that path in that little shallow channel on the left there. That's where you put the crab pot. The crabs walk along that and use it as a road. So I'm in no man's land up there. I've got the off chance of getting one that wanders around because it can smell the bait, but if I was in that path I'd do a lot better. So I might reposition it there and see how I go in the morning. Not sure if you can see this, but there's a crocodile just at the back of my boat. It's probably about 9 o'clock at night. I've just anchored in this small creek in a little bay off the Bowen Strait. Thought I might stay here the night. I can hear about half a dozen crocodiles growling in the distance. This fella's only about 6 foot long. I can reach over and pat him at times. He just goes around my boat. I'm hoping that's a sign that he's the smallest fella around and there's no big one around. Wouldn't want a big fella swimming around my boat in the middle of the night. But I had some fish to eat before. I don't know if he's can smell fish in my boat at all. Anyway, see what happens. This was moved out of the channel a little bit. Something to move that. Something's moved it, got in, got the bait and got out. Could be a clever crocodile. They've been known to do that. They'll stick their head in there, grab the bait and come out. It could have been what happened because that bait was tied in pretty well. I tied granny knots in that. Oh well. Got a croc getting a free meal. You can see that crab pot's been ripped open again. The wire's all bent up the top. Both sides of the top have been ripped open. The crocodile's just come along, opened up my crab pot and ripped out the bait. Serrated up the rope that had the fish tied in there as bait. And that's just common occurrence now. Crocodiles are getting into me crab pots quite often, more often than not. Anyway, I've got one nipperless crab for lunch and a mangrove jack, and I've got a queenfish which I'll make some nummus out of. Try our luck with the mud crabs now. Crocodile's been getting in my pot the last 2 days, taking my bait, bending up my pots. Ooh, that's alright. Look at that. Nice big male muddy. Okay, that's good, that's lunch. I might go and find a good spot to cook him up. Okay, I've actually cleaned this crab up. I've taken the lid off. I've cleaned all the innards out, and now I'll just give him a bit of a rinse in that fresh salt water. I'm just going to put some chopped up chilli inside here, which you can see. My good friend Leith back at the Seven Spirit Bay Resort, the Echo Wilderness Resort there, he has recommended spreading this chilli around inside the crab. The flavour goes right through the meat as it cooks. Then I'll put this lid back on. We'll go and cook him. It's ready to go. Not a bad looking campfire here, Kayla. Ready to go. Not bad for an old Japarut cub. Bit of paper bark on the bottom. Which burns like paper. Then a few leaves, a few old dried gum leaves and paper bark leaves. And small sticks, then the bigger sticks on top. All the small stuff underneath will catch on fire and heat up the bigger stuff. By the time the fire burns through the smaller stuff, the big stuff should be well alight. And when that all dies down and the wood's all actually burnt, I'll use the coals and I'll cook my crab and fish for dinner. Bit of mangrove jack and mud crab. So I'll just watch that die down now. Easy things getting fires started in the bush in Australia. Hardest thing can be putting them out if it gets out of hand. But this one's alright. I'm next to a river. It's not too windy today. It's pretty good. When we get some coals going, we throw the crab on. Should be great. He's just about ready. I reckon he's about ready. Definitely. When you've finished using your fire, make sure you put it out any way you can. I'm using a water bottle. But you can also cover the fire with sand or anything else you can think of just to make sure it's out. You don't want fires getting out of hand.